Good morning. Welcome back. Now, what happens when the miles start to stack up? Not just on your odometer, but on your life. Now, on this episode of The Resolute Path, I ride out with a longtime brother, James Brown. We've ridden through storms, good times, personal hells, and today we're taking a minute to talk about recovery, reinvention, and reflection. From his battle with alcoholism to my search for meaningful work, from the open road to open wounds, nothing was off the table. We talked therapy, the Second Amendment, growing older, and the healing power of two wheels and a good conversation. Grab your helmet. This one's about brotherhood, survival, and the ways we keep riding forward, even when the past tries to hold us back. My name is Christopher Howell, and this is my Resolute Path.
That last little bit after we got around that dram was fun. Thank you for those twisties.
Yeah.
That was a nice little putt.
Through the Turkey Creek. That's a little less than I usually run, but running with the other bike group, that was fun.
Yeah. It's very nice. So I like to introduce my good friend here. I've actually known this dude it's been like 20 years, hasn't it? I'm 42.
Yeah,
we met when I was 20.
Yeah. No, you were still not of drinking age at the beginning.
Yeah, so I was 20. I was just under drinking age, and I'm 42. So, 22 years.
Yeah.
Holy Moses. So, Mr. James Brown, and one of the things you'll probably see on his concourse, I can totally blur out the plate if you want me to, but it said Wyvern, and I'm curious of why Wyvern.
Wyvern, it's like a small dragon.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, so my other motorcycle, same frame, same engine, it's the ZX14, and that is a dragon.
Yeah.
So this is my second ZX14. When I had the first one, and one day I went into the bike shop, and I'm like, I'm thinking like maybe I need I'm thinking something a little more upright, a little more laid back. And I'm like, I looked at the guy, I'm like, but how do you ride an iron horse after you've tamed a dragon? He's like, bro, you just don't. Come here, I got something to show you. And he had a Concord 14. And I took that out for a test drive, and man.
Yeah.
It is more upright, it's more comfortable, but it's the same frame and the same engine. Man, it runs.
Yeah.
It runs.
I love the ZX line. My ZX10 is a blast to ride, but man, after about a tank of gas, which is only about 120 to 140 miles, I'm not having fun anymore. So I totally understand you want something that's just, still has that giddy up and go, but it can be a little bit more comfortable. It is definitely a plus for sure.
It definitely does. It still runs. I mean, I'm not saying I threw you back one spot there, but it was fun.
Only because I wasn't throttled up when you did it. Otherwise, I kept up just fine, I think.
Yeah, no, and it's really nice having somebody behind me with a skill level that is reliable, that I don't have to make sure that they make it through corners and shit. Make sure that they will be able to follow me through whatever it is, through a passing zone.
Yeah.
So that's really nice.
Yeah, when you gave the signal like that, I made sure that I was throttled up and I was right on your tail when you were ready to make that move.
Yep, time to go. To go.
And it was funny when we got behind those other bikers. You probably saw me going back and forth like that
a little bit. They weren't moving, but we were all having a good time.
Yep,
all having a good time. So, yeah, I didn't mind staying behind them. So,
and one thing that I've been curious about with you for a while, and you can totally tell me to pound sand, especially since this is going online. You don't have to say anything you're uncomfortable with, but you, for the longest time, I refer to you as the smartest idiot I knew, because you were like a mad scientist.
I've pretty much earned that. Yeah, I'll grant that.
Yeah. And you were a professional student, and you were my idea master. Dungeons and Dragons Dungeon Master, and you're super smart. You did some of the dumbest shit I ever knew and saw, and you turned your life around. You stopped drinking.
Yeah.
And that was, I mean, more power to you. We've all have our vices. I was a mad pothead for years, so I don't look down at you in any way, shape, or form. But what made you turn your life around? Because now you're that still at crazy smart.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm not seeing you do all this stupid shit anymore.
Well, and you're absolutely right. Drinking was part of it. I mean, and that was, I'm now 17 years sober, which is fucking insane to me.
Awesome.
Absolutely insane. Because I was going through a lot of whiskey, but no, life is really, really good now. And I'm really happy now. So life is much better sober.
But was there a specific?
Yes, Heineken, but Heineken Zero.
Heineken Zero, yes. And was Liz the main catalyst for that, you think? Or,
yes.
Yeah?
She really was.
That's nice.
It was.
He's got his wife is a girl that I've known just as long as he is, and an absolute doll. And I'm really glad that you guys found each other, because that is one of the best and longest lasting relationships I have to play off of these days. There's not a whole lot.
We've now been married for 11 years and together for quite a bit before. So
that's freaking awesome. Cool. Well, thank you for sharing that. I really didn't know what pushed you over the edge to finally make that leap.
That was the one final last thing, was her. Yeah.
Was Liz.
Yeah.
Cool. Nice. Again, you've known me for the 22 years, and we've gone long periods of time. I mean, we've always been friends and always been able to be in contact, but we've gone long periods of time without talking.
Yeah.
Which is something that grown adults do. Life takes over.
Which is weird to me, but completely understandable as well. Yeah.
Yeah. It was so weird that we ended up in the same career path almost. I mean, working at Jefferson County DMV. We'd stopped talking for years at this point. We reconnected somehow, I can't remember. And all of a sudden we were both working at the DMV. Just different branches in different counties.
Right. You and Jeff Comey in Denver.
Exactly. And with as much as you know me, one of the main things on this podcast or YouTube channel is my self-improvement, just trying to become a better person myself.
Aww.
Which, it's a struggle, and I suck at it. I really do. I'm a bitter, coarse, angry person, and it just seeps out of my pores.
Yeah.
So do you see any time with, as much as we've gone apart and then reconnected, do you see big changes in my demeanor or personality?
I do. You were definitely a much more angry person before.
More angry than oh my God, it's hard to believe.
Well, I mean, let's face it, DMV will do that to you some days.
Yeah.
Some days. And, some days I saw you there at the DMV, and, well, it might have just been the environment. God knows, me at work is not always pleasant.
Yeah.
So, but, no, actually seeing you at the DMV and happy a lot of days was part of the inspiration for me choosing DMV as an idea as well. So
it's not just filled with angry little old ladies. Huh?
Well, no, I mean, most of the days are fun.
Mm-hmm.
Most of the days are fun, and you get to help people out. But every once in a while, there's just
yeah. And you'll always have those people that no matter how much you smile, no matter how hard you try to help them through a difficult process, they're still just never going to be happy, and they're going to blame you for it.
There are just some people you cannot help.
Mm-hmm.
I've tried.
Yep.
Thanks, man.
Thank you. That's cool.
Yeah.
And you're still happy? I mean, you've been there for 10-something years now, right?
8.
8 years?
8 years at the DMV. Of course, I was the security guard there at the DMV for 2 years before that.
Yeah.
Definitely helped my choice as well, watching them do what they do, and now what I do. But, so 10 years at DMV, 2 as a guard and 8 behind the counter.
When we were first hanging out and you were my dungeon master, you were really big into an RA instruction. And you were weren't you like naturally certified and all that? Did you end up doing anything with all that?
I was a certified instructor for quite a couple of years anyway. Taught a lot of people, did private instruction. I've since relinquished that. It just, luckily, happily, I don't have to work that hard anymore.
Yeah.
I don't have to find extra. I used to do electrician on the side. I used to deliver flowers on the side. I used to be an NRA instructor on the side. I did a lot of things to get a little extra, and I don't have to struggle that hard anymore. And that's a really nice change for me. So
yeah,
that's
sugar mamas, right?
well. At the same time, it's amazing what we put up with for health insurance. So
I'm sure. Yeah.
I'm still looking for jobs now in the criminal justice field-ish.
Yeah, and I've always wanted to be in the criminal justice field. I've tried. I think you remember when I tried to become a cop for a long period.
Yep.
And just but my hip was always an issue. My medical history was always an issue.
It's a lot of physical.
Yeah, and my medical history has gotten even worse since that car accident in 2019.
Yeah.
So now I can't. I tried again this last time around just to peek into it one more time, and I looked into dispatch positions, and I couldn't pass their psyche evals and stuff. Yeah.
Huh.
Because unfortunately, with ADD and ADHD and
Yep.
and I'm definitely on the spectrum if no one can tell.
Squirrels happen, man. Squirrels happen.
So I couldn't qualify to be a dispatcher either. Same with I applied for a corrections officer position, and I couldn't qualify for that as well. Something about their psych eval, they don't tell you what.
Mm-hmm.
They just say, "Oh, sorry, you didn't pass our psych eval." So that didn't work out. So now admin positions within the legal department, and that seems to be something I definitely qualify for. My ADHD actually seems to help with that because I really have seemed to turn it into my superpower. Just the way if I take notes, stick to routine, stick to a schedule, and as long as I can time block out periods, I can turn off all my notifications.
Right.
I can really hyper focus on something for like an hour and a half to 2 hours at a time, and get just epic amount of
Just
work done
crush
in
it.
that period of time. And there's just ways you learn to deal with that stuff as an adult. ADHD is not crippling in any way, shape, or form. It's just a little bit different operating system. You got to get used to how to utilize.
Right. And I feel very similar. I've certainly not been diagnosed that way, but I've not looked into such. But much the same with the DMV. I mean, one customer interaction and another.
Mm-hmm.
But absolute critical focus on this one customer's need, and then you break for just a second.
Mm-hmm.
So,
For sure.
Yeah.
Yep.
yeah. And then me with criminal justice background as well. I got my criminal justice degree finally.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, you were going to college forever.
It was a minute. Yeah. It was a minute. It was good.
Being what, 10 years?
Well,
Off
yeah.
and on?
But I've got two-year degrees. I've got 2 associate degrees and a bachelor's now. So a 4-year degree and 2 twos. And with all of that, I still work at the DMV. But
doing what I did as a high school
yeah,
graduate. Yeah.
and that is all it requires is just a high school degree. But it fits well.
Yeah.
And the criminal justice background, looking into laws and legalese and translating that shit, and then applying it to the laws in regards to vehicles and registrations and things like that. It's all fit together very, very well. I too applied for a corrections officer position, but they wanted me to move 3 hours away.
But Trinidad or something?
Well, I mean, let's face it, the entry level, they're going to put you in less desirable places like Trinidad, like Sterling, like,
Yep.
out at the edge of the state. You're not going to get beautiful Buena Vista.
Yeah.
Because
actually, Buena Vista was one of the more high demand places when I applied this
really?
last time. Yeah, their place in Buena Vista is enormously understaffed right at this moment.
Wow. Because I grew up there, and that's we knew that building as the reformatory, not the prison. So because
I'm proud. That makes me proud of you. I didn't know that you actually managed to finally graduate and get your degree. That is cool because you were really struggling with that for a long time back when we first met each other.
It was a little rough, yeah. But no, and it was good. It was good.
I actually had one of the worst experiences as far as feeling ill the other day. I was hanging out with Sarah, and I remember at one point in time she was rooming with Chumley. Anyways, they tied one on one night, and they all went to bed. I've always been an early riser, so I woke up early, and her daughter was running around with a loaded diaper, and everyone else was still passed out cold. I never changed a diaper or nothing before, especially I'm not a toddler girl or anything. So I struggled through changing her diaper. But anyways, I saw that same little girl the other day, and she's over 18 and dating and wanting to get married and talking about kids and all that crap. And I'm like, I changed your diaper. Shut up.
I think you're old.
Yeah.
I think you're old. No, the kids that keep growing up, because I am old. I got gray hairs now, and it gets better when I shave. When I shave, I lose 10 years. It's kind of fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, you can just notice I just barely shave.
Right? No, a lot of my gray show up in my beard. It's 80 degrees today. It's time to shave.
It is.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, I see the
Get rid of the winter
widow's
face.
peaks coming in too there.
Oh.
That forehead's getting big.
So,
when's the last time you played Dungeons and Dragons?
a month ago,
Really?
I've got a monthly group meets over at my place.
Really?
We've actually been going 10 years now.
10 years?
This last month, one of the players looked up and goes, by the way, this makes 10 years to the day since our first game. And I'm like, whoa.
So that means you've let them get up to what, level 12?
I'm not the DM.
Oh, thank God.
No, we're still level 6.
10 years?
I
You're
know.
level 6?
Well, we're only meeting once a month.
Yeah.
So when we were meeting once a week, that was man, I miss that. I miss that. I don't, as a grown up though, I don't have the time that I would like to play more, but adult obligations are bullshit.
You gotta have time for that motorcycle too, you know?
Fuck yeah. I didn't have one back then.
Yep.
Yeah.
Now, you had your little moped scooter thing.
It was a little after that, but yeah. And I've ridden this road on that bike.
Really?
Oh yeah. It's fun. This road, the stretch that we were on, cars couldn't keep up with me.
Really? Interesting.
I was running at full throttle through the corners and everything, scraping parts.
Does this go all the way up to Salida?
285 does.
Yeah.
But the part that we turned off on, that one goes down to Springs if you follow it enough. But yeah,
Good times. The gray was really starting to shine through, and I was having some dry
there's a
patches.
spot right over here. That's
Yeah. And I went to shave, and I've only had it clean shaven for about 2 weeks now, and it's so super annoying because if I don't shave every day, like this is just one day not shaving, and I go to pull that helmet off, and it's like Velcro right here.
Right.
It's like stuck.
And the scritchies.
Yeah. So I don't know. Maybe I'll grow back. I don't know. I need to get a job.
No,
so that's
I
why
trimmed mine
shaved.
down. I've not actually shaved. I think the last time was 50. No, it was coming up on 20 years since I shaved.
Yeah.
Actually bare. So it trims down to just, about a 3-day growth.
Yep.
But yeah.
I used to do that on the regular. I had my beard for probably close to 10 years.
I've had enough of razors. So
Yeah, sweet as shit. I use an electric. It's funny, all the bikers I've known, I actually riding with the motorcycle club and all that, and you're like one of the only ones I know that actually still rides.
Yep.
Almost everyone I remember from those days doesn't ride anymore. Hell, fucking Bender's gone 7 years without a running motorcycle.
I know.
And then me and him just talked the other day. Birdie apparently is completely out of commission forever.
Really?
Like, yeah, he cracked a case on it apparently. Somehow.
On what did he have? Fireblade?
No, it was the Blackbird.
Blackbird. Right,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah, the Honda Blackbird.
Yeah.
He dumped it up 7 years ago on his DUI and never bothered to fix it. Well, finally got around to fixing it this last year and found the case is cracked.
Oh. No. Every once in a while, because I used to hang out with you when you were in the club and everybody else. Every once in a while, I keep thinking, maybe I ought to join a club. It'd never work out though.
No.
I fucking ride too much.
Yep.
I ride too much to be in a motorcycle club.
You ride too much and you don't listen to directions for shit.
Well,
Or follow directions. You listen, you just choose not to follow.
you know, after my time in the military, there's two things that I find that I really don't like. One is stupid, and two is me doing stupid. Being instructed to do stupid, I'm not a big fan. Yeah. Which goes great for me at the DMV, trust me.
I actually posted that question to a bunch of my friends on Facebook about a month ago. Just, bikers are, rebels at their core. They don't want to follow rules, especially
Right.
anyone else's rules. They want to follow, their own path.
And then
They go out and
Join
join
a
a
club.
motorcycle club.
with all these rules,
Yeah. And no one could really answer that for me other than they're just choosing what rules they get to follow. So, but it doesn't make a lot of sense to me because you're still choosing to follow rules. And most of the time it's going to be someone else's rules because the individual is not going to pick the rules for their motorcycle club. But, to each their own and live and let live. Clubs work for some people, just
right?
not for me or you.
I'm a unique individual, just like everyone else.
Yep.
Except, of course, I'm more special.
Yeah, special ed.
Well, pot to kettle, coming kettle. I'm still surprised you couldn't find other people to join us on this 80-degree day.
Yeah.
That's
Crazy. I didn't post it on any of the big group chat sites like Colorado Meetup or anything like that. Yeah, I sent it out to 667. I sent it out to Chum Lee, MT, who rode with us last time.
right.
A couple other individuals. No one. Yeah. Everyone responded if they had stuff going on or too busy or had to adult or whatever.
We, wife and I, Liz, we've actually talked about a trike. And when you do go see a psychiatrist or see a, therapist of any, and you're like, okay, so here's what's going on. Bing, 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 bing. All right, now you work with that. Right.
I've tried therapy a few times now, and one of the very first times I tried it, they basically looked at me and go, "You really need to find someone to talk to about this." And I'm like, "What the hell am I here
I
for?"
thought I was paying you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They basically told me I needed to go out and find some friends.
Yeah.
And
No, and even my psych interview for the security guard. As armed security, they make you go through the psych eval and everything as well.
really,
Same as the police. And I just laid it all out there. And it was fun filling in the blanks on the forms and all the things. And she took a look at, there was like 7 of us that were all doing it all together. And she looked at my forms and looked at everyone else and said, please go to lunch and come back. And she kept me because she was pretty sure we were going to have a long conversation. But
nice.
it was fun.
Very cool.
Yeah.
The last time I tried the therapy thing, the therapist sat there and ranted at me more than I was able to rant at the therapist. Apparently his
Yeah.
practice had just gotten bought out by some conglomerate company or corporation or something. So he sat there and complained about the buyout to me for my whole hour. It's like, seriously? Thanks.
I'm paying you for the.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, there are a few psychiatrists that I've met that seriously, I'm pretty sure they're in the business just so they can say, "You're fucking crazy. You're fucking crazy. You're fucking crazy." So they don't have to look at the crazy of themselves.
Yeah.
I'm fine because I'm the one that gets to make those decisions. You're fucked up. I'm just fine.
Yeah. Focusing on other people's crazy keeps them from looking at their own. Yeah, I get that for sure.
And again, squirrels happen, man. Yeah.
Squirrels are freaking everywhere.
That's part of the bike. I love the bike. It takes away the crazies.
It doesn't take them away, but everything at anything over 100, everything is blurry.
Well, when on the bike, you have to be present.
Yeah.
You have to be focused. especially on a sport bike, especially around, going through the canyons.
Yeah, it triggers that hyper
You have
focus
to be
mentality. Yeah.
right there in the moment. Family concerns go away, work concerns go away. You have to be in the moment.
Yeah.
It's very zen for me.
Yeah, for me too.
So,
There's two places I have my most, I have my best thoughts and my most zen moments. That's either on the motorcycle or on the toilet. No one wants to see me on the toilet, so
yep, I'm still an alcoholic. I'm not leaving a drop in that thing.
even though there's no alcohol in it,
Still,
it'll still tastes good though.
no, Heineken did real well with theirs.
Yeah.
With their NA. It's very, very true. So, anyway, I think it's time to get back on the road.
Well, thanks for sticking with me to the end. Whether it's therapy, throttle, or a talk over a greasy plate of lunch in the middle of nowhere, what matters is staying in motion. Thanks for being here with us, me on my resolute path. If this episode spoke to something inside you, please feel free to drop a comment, share it, and maybe you can ride along next time. Well, please like and subscribe. Hit that little bell icon so you know when the next episode drops. I love you all, and as always, keep it shiny.